Awesome.
Awesome. So we're live. It's Monday night. We had a couple. We've had a couple good shows over the weekend, which is great. As always, we have a full slate ahead of us this week. Tomorrow we got a fantasy Premier League show based around our fantasy league, which has over 200 people in it, which is awesome. And I guess we're going to be having a special guest that's an American AFC Bournemouth fan on, which is going to be different. And then later in the week, Justin from Chicago Hammers will be doing a match opposition preview with another American AFC Bournemouth supporter. And on Thursday night, we got someone else that we found on Twitter, like yourself, Zachariah. And it'll be kind of cool. So your handle is at New York Hammer too. And you go by what? Upstate Hammer, I believe it was, or no, Stammers.
Stammers, yeah.
Stammers. So where in New York are you?
I'm Syracuse located. I'm like 10 minutes outside the city. Yeah.
There are a few of you on Twitter.
Scattered around, yeah.
Scattered, yeah. So there's not one particular group up there, though?
Actually, I got into contact with, I think his handle is like upstate_hammer, something like that. And we met up 2 weeks ago to watch the Villa game.
All right, on.
And yeah, we talked about getting a group going. Want to see if we can do anything like that.
Awesome. Cool. Before we go any further, just want to thank Ben for showing up again. I missed him. It's been a couple weeks. And
gotta be back, baby.
And Ben got to hang out with the Mile High Hammers on Sunday, so that was cool, right?
Yeah, there was a couple of us there. Not our typical turnout, but we had a couple people no less. We had our bubble machine, and we were ready to go.
7 a.m. on a Sunday morning, man.
Man. Nothing can't beat
Troopers.
The only thing you can beat it is with the 5:30 a.m. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Oof.
That's a good one.
Brutal. Oh, God. All right. So let's get back into this. How on earth did you become a Hammer, Zach?
It's a millennial story, actually. Most people, like, their dad's into it, or like they have an uncle, something like that. They've been to the ground. But I actually got into it through YouTube, funnily enough. There's this YouTuber called Spencer FC. And when I was like 12 years old, I was just doing what 12-year-olds do, wanting to be entertained. So I went on YouTube and I found him, and he was a West Ham fan. So I just started following, pretty much. That's pretty much it.
That's awesome. You're not the first person that said that on our show, believe it or not. I remember watching his videos as well early on. I didn't even realize he was a Hammers fan right away. It was actually West Ham Fan TV that got me really hooked on the YouTube side of things. But him and Spencer FC and Hammers Chat, those were the originals, man. Those are the good ones.
Yeah.
And, so have you're in for a life of misery, I guess, right? No, it looks like it's going to change. It looks like it's going to change. You know, if you talk to the old timers, they'll say that you're in for a life of misery. But no, the tables are turned. It looked like a great match yesterday, right?
Yeah, we looked good. We looked really good. Very impressed with that. Granted, it was the Man United side that's very poor, but
yeah,
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. Now, do you play soccer at all?
Oh yeah, I do. I play for SUNY Oswego, actually.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I play with a guy who's a Man United fan. He was gonna kick the shit out of me, actually. He was all mad at me.
Ben, did any Man U supporters show up at the bar?
I don't think so. There's like two levels where we go. There's the top level where everybody typically hangs out, and the bottom level is where they do the sports betting. But there's a big Formula One crew in there on Sunday morning, so they had the top half, and we were down bottom. But I didn't see any United people at all, which was kind of nice, but also kind of a bummer because you kind of want to get a little rowdy with them. But what can you do?
Yeah. They were talking about the New York City Hammers. They hang out at Smithfield Hall, which is also a United bar. And apparently there was, quite a few of both supporters in there. That's got to be interesting. I remember, there are a lot of groups that they have their own pub, but there's also a lot more that don't. They share, and it's usually Arsenal. Like I guess Mile High Cameras used to share a bar with Arsenal until you destroyed them, right? You pretty
Well,
much you extinguished them. Is
yeah.
that
Well,
what?
our bar kind of closed down unceremoniously, and we were kind of scrambling. And actually, I think I don't know the exact order of how it happened. I think we got in first, but we split with Arsenal now at the Celtic too. But we haven't really overlapped yet this season, so it's been kind of they're coming in when we're leaving, or vice versa. So.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? It's funny now you mentioned that. Um, I don't think I've even watched an Arsenal match this season. Usually, I'll watch the match before or watch the match after, but I don't think I've. It's usually different days, even.
Yeah, it seems like it has been the last.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, later on in the season, there's a lot of us that are planning on trying to figure out a way to gather as many Americans as we can and head on over to Arsenal away in March, and then Wolves at home, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Be a good experience. But so if anyone interested in joining that endeavor, just reach out to Gingerbread on Twitter or follow us on social media. We have a Discord app as well, a Discord channel that has a whole page dedicated to the London trip in March. So that would be kind of cool.
Hell yeah! Into that.
I'm gonna be visiting the DC Irons on Saturday, which is gonna be awesome. Really looking forward to that. So far, since I've done this show, I visited Dallas. That was an amazing group, amazing crew, massive. Small place for that many people, man. But hey, they squeeze everybody else out, so there's no chance of anyone else, even coming into that pub. And then I visited Philadelphia. The new group that formed over there.
Where do they go? What's their pub down there?
Stowe's, right near the bridge, man. Right near the Ben Franklin Bridge.
Oh, the Franklin. So, okay.
Yeah, I come off the Franklin, and man, it was maybe 2 blocks up, diagonal left, and 2 blocks down was right there. Yeah, it was really close to the bridge. Cool. Really easy to get to. Yeah. And the guy is super, super good. Like the guy's Stowe. I mean, he's super cool, super great. I mean, he won't open for the early matches, but he'll open for every other match. Apparently, the guy who reformed the group in Philadelphia had been a patron of that bar for a few years now, and just one day said, "Hey, would you mind opening up for us? If I manage to figure out a way to get a group here for West Ham." And sure enough, yeah. And I went there, and the week before I went, they had 16 people, and the week that I went, they had 16 people, and I'd say only 8 of them were the same people from the week before. Yeah, it was just kind of cool, to think about if all those people were there at the same time. We'll probably be about 25 strong. Yeah, kind of cool. Because Philly's a massive city, just like Denver and everywhere else, like New York and Boston. I mean, they deserve massive groups. Even Syracuse, dude. I don't understand why. There's got to be more people in Buffalo, Syracuse.
Yeah, it's just finding them. That's the issue.
Yeah.
There's a lot of universities up there too. You'd think temporary people that are not necessarily major residents of there, but they go to school there. Even college kids love soccer, dude.
It's true.
There's got to be more.
I see people walking around with kits all the time, more than I've ever seen. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, probably a lot of Spuds kits too, huh?
Way too many.
Yeah. Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It's so funny too that NBC Sports seems to have adopted Tottenham as their, America's team. I don't know if you noticed this. They always favor them on social media and also on the show. Really,
total underdog story, I guess. But are you an underdog if you never ever
win?
There's got to be a moment where you're like, no, we're not underdogs, we're perennial failures.
We're just failures, yeah.
I mean,
America loves an underdog story.
Yeah. But they got Yankees colors, man. You know what I mean?
Fair. Nothing wrong with
an underdog. You gotta stop it. Whip out my Red Sox shit. Yeah. Well, actually, get my Patriot stuff over there. Don't even dare. Yeah. All right. So have you actually? How long have you been supportive? How long?
I've been supporting since Payet came in, I believe. Yeah. I
Did you
don't know what
manage to
year that
make it
was.
down? Did you manage to make it down to North Carolina?
No, I didn't.
No. Yeah, a lot of people who've had on the show have, and I didn't. Um, I wanted to go to Seattle as well, but obviously it's not cheap. But
No.
to fly cross country. But nowadays it's actually a lot cheaper to fly over to England than it is to fly over to Seattle. It's crazy.
Yeah.
From Boston, I guess I was looking at the dates in March. One of the main reasons why I picked March anyway. Round trip flights were like in the 380s. Round trip, nonstop
What?
to
From
London.
Logan?
Yes, no
Wow.
joke. I'm not joking. It's crazy. There was some days where like if I flew on a Tuesday or whatever, it would be like 340 something. The year before, or 2 years ago, when I actually went, it was like five something, which to me was amazing because the last year of the bowl-in, it was like eight something was the cheapest flight, and you'd have to do a layover in Qatar, or Ireland or Iceland or something like that. But this is like Virgin, nonstop, direct. It's crazy. The flights have gone down, down, and down. But yeah, I mean, I was also looking back when I went to go visit Dallas. One of the places I wanted to visit was obviously Denver, and I also looked at Fresno, and I'm like, all right, let's price this out. And Fresno, you have to fly into San Francisco and then take another flight down to Fresno, and I'm like, this is crazy. It's going to cost me $600-700 just to get to freaking Fresno, whereas I could just save my money and go to England,
And not be in Fresno.
and not be fun.
Not that there's anything wrong with Fresno. I'm sure it's
Fresno's
wonderful.
got, but that's the thing is that it's got a diamond. It's got a gem, man. It's got Fresno is one of the better groups. I wouldn't say better groups. I hate the word better. I didn't mean that. I meant like one of the more organized groups in the country, where it comes down to like Los Angeles, New York, Denver, Dallas. that versus 3 or 4 people on average. I mean, they do a good job, and for what they have, like you said, in Fresno, dude. Like they managed to get a good turnout, so
you know what?
it's
kind of funny. Fresno of all places, right?
I know.
yeah. All right. So when you first started following the club, besides Payet, who were some of your favorite players?
I liked Andy Carroll just because I'm also a big dude. I'm 6'4". I throw elbows like he does, elbow in the jaw, all that
Stay in the
shit.
field though.
Usually, I'm a sweet talker too. That's the thing. Throw an elbow, apologize for it,
Nice.
do it again 5 minutes later.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy Carroll. God Almighty, man. He. I was so excited when we were first linked to him. I went to see a friendly that summer in Baltimore, where it was Liverpool Tottenham, just because I don't know, there was nothing else, Premier League wise in the area that summer. So I drove down there, and Andy Carroll was on Liverpool at the time, but there was links that he was coming to West Ham, and I was the only person there in my West Ham gear in the fucking 85,000 seat stadium, filled with. It was funny. There was a lot more red than there was Tottenham supporters, but I was in the Tottenham section, wearing my my light blue 2011, 2012 kit. I loved it because I was just you couldn't miss me, and nobody said a word to me. I got the dirty looks like the American Tottenham supporters always give anybody anyway. They'll give their mother a dirty look like that, for breathing on them. But yeah, I didn't hear a peep. It's crazy. But anyway, long story short, I was really excited to have Andy Carroll. He did perform very well in the beginning, and he's just one injury after another. Really disappointed. But every time that he showed up, though, he tended to surprise us with a hat trick or an amazing bicycle kick or something.
Hat trick
thank you.
Arsenal. Ooh, beautiful. One of my favorite moments, definitely.
And what'd you say, Ben?
I remember, didn't he get a couple in off his noggin when they were fighting
Oh
relegation
yeah,
a couple years ago?
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that. I forget who it was against. Newcastle, maybe? Something like that.
And
Has
there he
he
is now,
has he
Yeah,
played for them yet, or is he still
off the
injured?
bench.
Off the bench. Oh, okay.
Off the bench.
super sub.
I think it was this weekend he came off the bench. I don't think he really did anything.
Yeah.
Because no one really said anything other than, hey, he's off the bench. He made it off the bench. He made it off the crutches. You know. So let's see here. What were I don't know, man. Have you seen the Green Street Hooligans?
No, I haven't. I've never
Okay.
even heard of it.
It's funny, yeah, because most Americans. I mean, when you were starting to talk to me about your millennial story, I thought you were going to say, "Oh yeah, I got into it from the movie that I saw called Green Street Hooligans." Um, Basically, it stars the dude from Sons of Anarchy, Charlie Hunnam, and Elijah Wood, Frodo. And that's I don't know, it's interesting. I had to rewatch it. So I watched it back in 2005 when it first came out, and didn't even think of it because I wasn't a West Ham supporter at the time. And I rewatched it again like maybe 2 months ago, and I'm like, you know what? No, it's not a bad movie. But if you want to see a really good West Ham based movie, it's called The Firm from 1989 with Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's first flick, actually, and God Almighty, it's intense, super intense, and not like Transporter intense or Fast and Furious intense. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking just emotionally, and it's emotionally intense. But that's based off of the ICF. But they don't really say that in the film. But anyway, good flick. But if you have children, I wouldn't watch it.
No.
There's a scene in that movie that's too much to handle.
All right.
Anyway, I'm surprised that either my chat room thing ain't working, or I don't know what the hell's going on. Usually there's more people in the chat room, but this time anyway. So let's see here. Any predictions for this weekend coming up against Bournemouth?
Hopefully good. Bournemouth are good though. They were 1 point behind us, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they were sitting in sixth, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
I did not expect that whatsoever.
They tend to do that every year at some point. At
The
some
inverse
point,
of us.
they sit somewhere up there, and everybody's like, well, Eddie Howe should be the manager of England. Oh, he's so great. He does so much with nothing. I don't buy it. I just think he's fucking lucky, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I watched their game against Everton. I don't know if that's correct. I watched one of their games, and it was a lot of shithousery from what I saw.
They tend to score a lot. There was a guy that we were linked with. Actually, both strikers we were linked with at some point since last January. I remember last January it was Joshua King for a brief period of time, and then he realized he didn't want to come here. I don't know why. But he's a Norwegian international. I fell in love with him. I thought he would be a great fit for what we were trying to do. Mm-hmm. He likes to, he's a target man. He likes to hold the ball up. He's not nearly as good as Allaire, but he's better than Arnautovic when it comes down to that. He's more of an Allaire than an Arnautovic. Now, Callum Wilson is the guy that seems to keep coming up, but he's older. Like, why would we want someone like that? You know what I mean?
He seems to keep getting injured too, from what I've seen. Like last couple of seasons, he's picked up a couple knocks, missed 4, 5, 6 games, things like that.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. And who was the other one? Mitrovic and what's that dude that went to China from Newcastle, West Brom, whatever his name was, that we were linked with over the summer. Rondon. Ring-a-ding-dong-dong. Yeah, Rondon.
Thank God we got Allaire.
That's what I'm saying.
All these names you're bringing up.
Dude, we were so excited. I mean, not we, but social media, especially Twitter. I mean, God bless you for using it. I try to stay off. I only go on there to like schedule with people, find people. I let other people handle the Twitter for the most part. God, I can't handle it. But anyway, the people, man, on Twitter were so into Mitrovic, so into Rondon when we couldn't, get rid of Mitrovic. And I just couldn't understand why. And same thing with Gomez. I mean, we kept getting strung along with this whole Gomez thing that just, it
The
was
Gomez
terrible.
thing, specifically Gomez, it was a weird thing because like none of these people have actually seen him play. I don't think.
I know.
And like I watched him play once, and he was good, obviously, but he's not 45 mil good, nowhere near Allaire, definitely.
One game I saw of him, the one actual, I didn't even watch the full game, but the one match I saw of him last season, he got sent off. I'm like, okay, wow,
West Ham
this guy's
way.
awesome. That's right, I know, yeah. Let's spend all our money on that guy. That's great. But then there was a period though when there was like this package deal they were talking about though with him and Lobotka. Someone else from the club. We're going to end up signing two of their players. It was going to be Gomez and Lobotka. And that excited me because Lobotka is an animal. He's a psycho. He's a beast. But he didn't want to come.
That's really the difference, though. It's like, why would I ever want a player to play for my club for 50 mil, paying him 200K a year or a week, and he doesn't even want to be here? Like, I don't like that. That's not me.
Exactly.
Not at all.
What was that?
It's a recipe for disaster when you get a guy who doesn't want to be there.
And then you get another Arnautovic or Payet situation 2 years later.
Exactly. Allaire seems to, he really seems like he wants to be here, which is awesome. That transaction didn't take long. It didn't take nearly as long as most of these transfers take. And, man, I mean, Gomez just never seemed thrilled. So, I don't know. A lot of people keep saying as well that maybe it was a smokescreen, and I would believe that more than anything else. Just to divert us to our attention over there, and then all of a sudden we sign Allaire. What are your thoughts on Mr. Fornells and his performance on Sunday?
He's a difficult one. Personally, I thought he was at the time, I thought he was their best summer signing, even above Allaire. Obviously, that's not true right now, but I think it's a mistake to play him on the wing, personally. I got a lot of heat for that from some of my West Ham chats. I think it's a really stupid thing to do. He's not quick. He's like a David Silva. That's the closest player relationship I can make with him. Yeah. I think we should play him straight through the center. Maybe not over Lanzini, obviously, but he's injured. Give him some time. That's my opinion.
I can see that. But wasn't he though like playing behind the striker though, pretty much?
The last couple of games I've seen him. Actually, no. Last game he played in the middle. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
For the games before, for the substitutes, he was on the wing, which I didn't.
Yeah,
really
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And watching that Newport match, I mean, none of them looked really any good. I think except Zabaleta. Zabaleta looked like a maniac, and everybody else looked like they were just tired. Everybody
slogging through molasses.
Yeah, well, that's how we all looked the first match of the season as well. The whole preseason looked like shit. Yeah. It was quite embarrassing to see, the preseason. I think it was our first show after the Man City match. Lee, one of my original co-hosts, was saying that it's the manager's job, the club's job, the coaches, the trainers, to make sure that these guys are rearing and ready to go for the season. But nobody looked fit. Nobody looked fit in the beginning. It seems that you see a gradual incline in performance. It seems like everybody's starting to gel. It seems like everybody's starting to get fit. If it wasn't for Antonio getting hurt, Yarmolenko wouldn't have looked so good as he did yesterday. Because he just wasn't getting the minutes. He needed the minutes to get fit. And same with with Wilshire, and Wilshire's looking a little bit better even off the bench yesterday. I thought he looked like he had some energy to him, which was neat. And Fornells too. Fornells needed that, man. He needed Lanzini to be hurt so he could go against a Manchester United and play a quality squad for 90 minutes, dude. Right?
Quality.
Well, yes. Man U, the B squad is still quality.
Yeah. You still got to get up the plan. I mean, and there's a lot of energy there associated with Man U. Obviously, obviously the fans were jazzed up, everybody was psyched. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's a certain amount of I don't want to say like intimidation factor, but there's that certain level that like you got to get up for. Even if Man United's not playing as well as they historically have been doing, you still have to find that extra gear. I think,
Yeah, but I
which is
mean,
good. It's good that Fornals could do that, and it's good that Yarmolenko could get that in too. So I agree.
Pogba, Shaw, and what was the other dude? Oh, Martial. Man, if they played yesterday, would we have seen that same performance?
If Rashford doesn't come off, right? I mean, he
Yeah.
came off in the second half, right? Was it the second half?
Yeah,
Very
He came
beginning
out.
of it, yeah.
the
Yeah.
very beginning. Yeah,
And
he aired himself.
they came
Yeah,
out firing in the second
They were
half.
good for the first 5 minutes of that,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. But no, I mean they got a deep squad. It's just they look more like a Bournemouth than their B squad does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With the amount of money they've put into it too, there's not really an excuse to lose to us. For them, from their point of view.
Again, Harry Maguire, man, 90 million to defend
Yeah.
that guy, huh? Wow,
Five head Maguire.
that's what a 90 million pound defender looks like, right? Wow.
Dio must be like 140 at this point, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Cha-ching.
Well, you know what? There's always the summer, right? We're all, I wouldn't say 50-50. I think this channel and all of our co-hosts, because there's a lot of us, we love to, bring our former guests on from time to time to help, run the show and co-host or even host the show sometimes. I'd say it's about 60-40 sell Diop, over the next year or two and, cash in because he's still not 100% all the time. I mean, he's a very inconsistent player.
He is, yeah.
And then the whole thing of, well, he needs so-and-so next to him, or you can't begrudge him. I mean, you can't judge him because he was playing with so-and-so, and we got to coddle him. And he's just, listen, no, it's okay, Diop. No, you had so-and-so next to you. It's all right. Your piss-poor performance is okay. We're going to forget about it. No, it's bullshit.
We'll nail Balbuena to the bench and bring in Yoni Alfano.
Like Van
Really?
Dyke is out here playing with Matip or like
Yeah.
who the fuck
Come on,
else?
what?
Gomez.
That's what I'm saying.
It's no excuse.
That's what I'm saying. So, and there's been a lot of those, though. Even with last season, well, he had growing pains last season. Just everybody did. Felipe Anderson had, growing pains last season. Anyone, their first season in the Premier League is going to be quite the experience. I wouldn't wish that on anybody because they got to impress right away, especially when you're starting them all the time. And Diop being so young, especially, it had to have been something else for him. It had to have been really tough. And then not knowing who he was going to be playing with all the time. So whatever. I still don't give him that much of an excuse. I wasn't overly impressed with him last season. So when the money talked this summer, I was like, sell him now because God forbid he gets an injury this season, it's gone.
Price tag's gone.
Or if he just continues to have the same season he had last year, with a lot of inconsistency. Like after January last season, January, February, I mean, he had some piss poor games, some horrible games, and then he finished the season strong, just like everybody else in the club did. So that's great, but I don't know. I'd sell his ass. I would. And cash in on other defenders. There got to be. Just think about all the players in the world. You know what I'm saying? All the leagues in the world. There's got to be somebody we can cash in on.
Even in the Premier League, Nathan Ake, Shar, all those players.
James Tompkins.
Take a drink,
Bring him back.
everybody.
Bring him
back.
Bring him back. That's my man. Drink. All right. I have to mention James Tompkins every episode, just so you know. We've done I think over 200 uploads, over 100 of them interviews, and I have to mention James Tompkins every time I'm on.
Just love him or what?
He was my first favorite player. I love defenders. I always gravitated toward defenders. Like before I started following West Ham, all we got here on TV was Liverpool matches because they're owned by the Red Sox. So Agger and Skirtle, like badasses like that, I gravitated towards just awesome center backs that could also score. So Tompkins wasn't necessarily the big badass, but he could score. He scored more than Winston Reed ever scored.
Yeah.
He scored more than Ginge or anybody else. I swear to God. If you look, I mean, I did a comparison over the last X amount of years, like last 5 seasons, like last 2 at the Bolin and the 3 where he wasn't with the club, and said, okay, well, first of all, you throw Winston Reed right out of the equation because he didn't even play half the fucking games Tompkins has played, even with Crystal Palace. I mean, we could have had a healthy player that played, multiple games. Anyway, Ogbonna came close to catching Tompkins, score record, but guy was always the right place, the right time, man. I mean, he didn't necessarily score every time, but he always got his fucking head on it, and that to me was impressive. So someone like that who loved a set piece, I love that about him. And Ginge, I mean, I love Ginge too. He's my second, I guess, favorite defender of in West Ham history, but my West Ham history from when I started following back in 2011. Yeah, Ogbonna, not thrilled. And Winston Reed, who the fuck is that? Who is that anyway? I mean, I haven't seen him in years.
He's a money pit. I
think.
I forgot he played for us.
I heard he's I heard he's signed for Newcastle. Fucking injury prone prick. Anyway, and one last thing about that. The last home match of the Bolin, against Man United. If it wasn't for Winston Reed, we probably would have. He was. How do I put it? Martial's or Rashford. It was Martial, right? He scored the 2 goals for United. Yeah. It was Winston Reed's mark. Watch the fucking match. I watched the match over again, and it was Winston Reed chasing him, and the ball goes in. And I'm like, oh, so he set himself up to be the hero. Oh, there you go.
As long as we win. If he does that every game, go for it.
I know. Somebody was telling me that I'm incorrect, and only one of those goals was his fault. He was telling me, I can't remember who it was. One of our guests was adamant that the reason why Reed was chasing him on the first goal in the highlights was because it was someone else's man, and he was coming over to help. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. But no, I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, your job as a defender, man. Same thing when I get on Fabianski's ass every fucking week, but not lately because I love him now. But last season, it was your job. You have one job as a goalkeeper, and that is to keep the ball out of the fucking net. And he let in 54 goals last season, which was one of the highest in the league.
Yeah, they had the worst goal differential, right?
I think. I don't know exactly. I just know it was a lot because 54 goals against was a lot. Like, oh, no, but hold on. He had so many saves, and we could have got relegated. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, but his job is to not let any of them in. And he let in 54 of them. He was like among the league leaders in goals against. So, it could have been a whole hell of a lot worse. But
Adrian, it's a lot worse.
Could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Man, if we had, Bobby Green or Robert Green or what's his name, Jussi Jääskeläinen, the guy that Adrian raped out of the club. And then all of a sudden, Joe Hart and Darren Randolph and then Fabianski.
Don't you ever say that?
No, hold on. I'm saying that they all did. They all pulled Adrian on Adrian because Adrian did that to Jussi.
Yeah.
Jääskeläinen. He came in and said, you know what, I'm here now and I'm going to take over that spot. And well, they were never sold on him. The club was never sold on him. And then Randolph came in and it was like, who's our goalkeeper? Who's the keeper? Who's the keeper? Who's the keeper? And then Joe Hart came in, same thing. Who's the keeper? Who's the keeper? And then Fabianski came in and the same thing. Oh, what was Fabianski? See you later, Adrian. Bye-bye. Thanks for everything, but that's it. See you. Bye. That's shit, man. I don't know. I mean, I love competition and stuff like that, but back in the Bilic days, I call it. If you ever guys watched the 100, the dark year, I call it the Bilic years, where no one talks about it. I mean, I wouldn't talk about it. I'm embarrassed about it. Anything having to do with Bilic, because once we hit Olympic Stadium, just shitty choices of goalkeeper, shitty choices of play. The signings that he had, the people that he played out of position. He played everybody out of position. Every single person. Almost every single person he played out of position. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, enough about that. I try not to rant I got to rant every episode, but I can't believe, dude. I think this is a first, dude. I don't know if what's going on, but this is the first time I've ever done a show ever, and there's not been one person in the live chat. How many shows? I mean, dude. I think we've done at least 150 of these interviews, and the live chat's always popping. That's crazy. Is it because it's Monday?
Might be.
Wow. Maybe because we're an hour early. I mean, usually we do like 9 o'clock shows. All of our other shows are 9 p.m. Eastern time. Wow, but maybe it's a good luck sign. Maybe we're gonna reach 1,000 subscribers by tomorrow.
There you go.
We still need 150. So all you people out there that have not subscribed, please do. That'd be awesome. I do see that there are some of you watching this live, and if you'd like to chat with us or ask, Zach a question, or Ben or myself, feel free. But in the meantime, let's pull up some Hammers polls.
All right.
I think we went through a lot of them last night, but we're going to go over them again because you guys have your fresh opinions. Let's see. All right, Hammers polls. You can check them out at hammerspolls.com or at Hammers Polls on Twitter. Good friends of ours and a lot of other channels like our good friends over at West Ham is Why We Drink, the podcast. Green Street Hammers, Irons United, and others. Let's start with this one. We'll start with Zach since he's the guest. Which would you prefer to see happen? A, qualify for Champions League, only to be knocked out of the group, which contained Real Madrid, Juventus, Barcelona, and PSG. That's a massive group. Do they even have that many teams in the group?
No, it's 4.
I mean, Jesus. Or B, domestic, because that's overkill. I mean, that's what you would call overkill. Oh yeah, West Ham's in the group with one extra team, and it's fucking PSG. Oh god, that would be the West Ham way. Or B, a domestic cup final win. So, A or B?
Pretty quick, I would say B, definitely. I mean, I just want to see West Ham win something, please. No more Spurs Cup, I mean, beating Spurs should be a cup, but
it should be. There's a lot of derbies out there that have actual cups, aren't there? Like trophies, no? Or at least they call it the cup, but they don't actually have a physical trophy. I swear, I think Derby and Nottingham Forest have that, and Ipswich Town and Norwich, I think, have a something derby or something cup, and
Sunderland and Newcastle. Maybe.
Yeah, and Sunderland, Newcastle, exactly. Yeah,
oh, Sunderland's god awful, but yeah, when they were up before they.
That's a shame. Things like them in Bolton and Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, they really pissed me off. Like they have a massive stadium, a massive community that would follow that club, that would fill their massive stadiums if they were in the Premier League. Yeah. But just shit people at the top. They fuck everything up for everybody else. Ben. What do you think, man? What would you rather see happen? A or B?
Give me the cup. I'll go B. I mean, it would be cool to get into Champions League. That would mean, obviously you have a great, Premier League season, which would be exciting. But unless you're winning the Premier League, then I would take A. But if it's don't win the Premier League or win a cup, I'd take B for sure. Give me the silverware, baby. Let's hoist a trophy.
Yeah.
I still can't get over this. I'm looking at like Real Madrid, Juventus, but I'm looking at the names of those clubs, and I'm thinking, could we really hang with any of them?
I mean, I think didn't Real Madrid start the season kind of slow, or did they turn it on? No, I guess they turned it on.
I think Barca started slower than they did actually.
Oh yeah,
you're right. Top 7. Right. Yeah.
Who did we play in the friendly? Was it Bilbao? Was it or was it who was it?
Sevilla. Bilbao?
No, I think it was Bilbao.
It was Bilbao. I think it was Bilbao. Yeah.
Top of the La Liga table right now too.
didn't really hang well with them. I mean, again, it was a friendly, but still, I was thinking if you take Madrid or Barcelona in that same league, I mean, they'd fucking murder us. I think still to this day.
Yeah. Man City at home all over again.
Oof. Oh god.
I don't mean to bring that up.
But yeah, I would take the domestic cup final win. I mean, with the League Cup, we get with both cups, you get into the Euros, don't you? Euro.
Yeah,
I know. I know. With the League Cup, I don't know if it's still that way, but I remember back when Swansea won it. They got into the League Cup. I'm sorry, the Europa.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think there is. But then what's the FA Cup? Not just the Community Shield. It can't be. They got maybe qualifiers for the champion. I don't know. Whatever. Let's go backwards now. So Ben, would you give Connor Coventry a run out against Oxford?
This is a tough one, right? Because you clearly have a side that you think can compete, I think, for the top 6 spots in the Premier League, right? So you don't want to risk, a big guy getting an injury or, something like that. So, but you also, when's the last time we went on a run in the cup? So I would say yes. It's Oxford. I would hope that, you could get a good performance. But, I think given the trajectory in the Premier League, you probably don't want to risk, injuries or anything like that. So my answer would be yes.
Yeah, and does run out mean 90 minutes, or does it mean like off the bench? You know what I mean? I don't know what they're referring to, but Zach, what do you think?
I wouldn't say start. I wouldn't start him. I don't think I'd give Wilshere the start probably. But if we're leading at half, I would definitely throw him on. I want to see him play. I haven't seen him enough.
Same here. Off the bench, 100%. Nathan Holland, I'd start.
I'd love to see him start.
I would
definitely
love to see him start. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, guys, because this could be a nice cup run. It really could, depending on who we get lined up with next round.
Right.
But
well, you got to win this one first.
That's true. That's very true. And and Oxford's doing shit this year in the league. That scares me because they could put all their eggs into this basket. You know what I mean?
Like last year against Wimbledon, they were like bottom or whatever, right?
Yeah, they were like bottom half of league.
Yeah,
I think one. Right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
definitely. And this year, Newport, at the time that we played them, were right up at the top of the table. I mean, having a great start to their season. They were on a high, and we put them to bed. But so it's scary to me. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily start Connor Coventry, but I'd definitely give him a run out. That's the answer to that one. Let's see what other people thought. 80% said yes, so I think they're all thinking the same thing with the whole run out verbiage. Let's go back up here for a second. We all said B, and 82% also said B, and that's out of 281 votes. And this question with Connor Coventry was out of 194 votes. The next question is about the West Ham women. And I love this. We actually have a show every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time with two of our English friends, Allie and Reese, who are both season ticket holders. And they both, they attend, the matches. And we've had Allie on since last season. But this year we paired her up with Reese to do a weekly show for us about the West Ham women to help, raise the awareness of the club, really, which is kind of cool. So what will the result be when the West Ham women take on the Spurs women for the first time at London Stadium on Sunday, the 29th of December at 2:30 p.m.? So just if you guys didn't know, they play at Rush Green. That's their home, which used to be one of our training pitches, right? The youth facilities. So for them to be playing this derby match, which this is the Spurs' first year in the Premier League, or they weren't in the Premier League last year, the Women's Premier League, the Women's Super League, they call it actually. But West Ham women were. It was West Ham women's first season last year. So anyway, and there's actually a couple of former West Ham women on that Spurs squad, so that should be interesting. So So for them to be showcasing this at London Stadium is kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts?
I don't really.
If you don't know, just guess.
I mean, West Ham win, of course.
There you go.
Yeah, I know we have that one Austrian girl. I know that she's very good.
Yeah.
I don't recall her name though. I think it's
uh,
awesome that we're letting them play at the London Stadium though. It's awesome.
That is awesome.
It's
Alicia
really
Lehmann.
cool. Alicia Lehmann,
And she's Swiss.
Swiss. Sorry.
Nice. Nice.
What do you think, Ben?
I think the ladies are fired up. They're jazzed up. I think the energy is gonna be great. Coming off of going against arguably biggest rival, and
Yeah.
I think they get the win. I hope they get the win. That'd be awesome.
would be awesome.
First match there, blow the doors off of Spurs. That'd be sweet. So.
Well, it was a trick question because anytime there's West Ham and Spurs in a poll, you have to answer West Ham win.
It's true.
It's just without question. So yeah, 85%, man. That's right. Bravo, people.
Who the hell's voting Spurs win? What the hell is that?
It's 8%, man. Well, that's only 62 votes. So, but there's still 5 days left. That means this is fresh off the press here 6 hours ago. Yeah. Love Hammer's polls. And let's see what else we got here. Well, who starts against Oxford? Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Anderson or Holland? Let's go with Zach.
Holland, definitely. Same reason as before. I really don't want to risk injury with Anderson. If he gets injured, we have to play Holland for the rest of the season on the left. And I don't know if he can. Obviously, he can't do what Anderson does for us. So I'd definitely start Holland.
Yeah. Ben?
I would probably agree. I mean, I think, Anderson's sometimes he's the most infuriating guy in the field because I feel like he can turn his brain off sometimes. I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
You're right.
I don't want to throw him out there. He gets lazy and then he, gets hurt or, he puts in a terrible performance and then, Pellegrini's like, well, you didn't earn a spot in the next Premier League match. I think you start Holland. You want to get a run out on him too. You want to see, you want to get him out there. And
I'm dying for it.
Catastrophic happens, then Anderson's on the bench.
I've seen some nasty highlights from Holland over the last few years, and also, heard from key figures in the club that Holland is the future, man. If we can somehow harness him. Not in a bad way like harnessing Ravel Morrison or something like that, but we just got to figure out a way to keep this guy's head on the right track and make sure he's 100% ready and injury-free and whatnot. Last year, I was so frustrated that he didn't get a single minute. It pissed me off quite a bit, actually, and to not see him really feature at all in the preseason pissed me off as well. He did perform a lot for the reserves in the preseason, and again, he performs every fucking time. I mean, he does so well there, and I would love to see him get a run out. I would love to see him start. It doesn't say like take Anderson off the team sheet altogether, so I would absolutely have Anderson off the bench. I mean, if Holland just goes out there and just shocks everybody and has a shit performance, well, just throw in Anderson. It's that simple. Right?
Agreed.
All right. All right. Well, this is a good one. Who starts against Oxford, Ayeti or Allaire?
Flip a coin. I don't know. I don't know anything about Ayeti, so I don't know. I mean, depends on how serious you are about the cup run. I think this is one of those where if you want to go for it, you start Allaire and maybe you take him off halfway through or 60 minutes or whatever. But yeah, I think it's largely dependent on how serious you want to take this cup run. It might be more situational, I guess, is really the way I would.
Yeah. Zach?
For me, it's more dependent on the previous poll, actually. If we're going to start Anderson, I don't see the point in starting Allaire too. So if we're going to start Anderson, put him with Ayeti. We're going to start Allen, put him with Allaire. That's for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to have Holland start with Ayeti on his first game. I don't know how good Ayeti is, obviously, but
well, He's got a great track record. Everybody, a lot of hype behind him and his performances at Basel and everywhere else he's been. He didn't show 1 ounce of it against Newport. He played the full 90 and did not really do much of anything. So,
I remember that Garden State was.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's really strange. So, I wouldn't start Allaire though. I mean, there's no other place for Ayeti, man. He needs minutes.
Yeah.
I would start him just for that reason alone. I really don't think that we're gonna have to worry about Oxford. I know it's gonna be a physical match, and they're not gonna lay down for us. But at the same time, I just don't think they have the talent to compete overall. I mean, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to play them, but at the same time, goals won't come that difficult.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. I think Ayeti will. I think he should start. Let's go back to this one. I'll say, Holland 80% said yes. That's out of 214 votes, and out of 456 votes. So what was the consensus here?
Ayeti.
Ayeti. Yeah. So 85% say that, and I think that also has to do with the fact that Pellegrini needs to see him somewhere. Right? I mean, he needs minutes.
True.
There's no room for him as a second striker on our squad. I mean, on the pitch, if you know what I'm saying, like in a league match. We're not doing a 4-4-2. So, I mean, that's just not Pellegrini's way. So we're not going to see that. I mean, it would be nice to give him as many minutes as possible in case something happened out there, if, pulled a calf or whatever, anything. It would be nice to have your backup striker rearing and ready to go. So, yeah. That's that 85%. That's a lot. Okay. We got about time for one more, then we'll hit into the rapid fire. So it's hard to choose between any of our attacking options at the moment. But out of our first 6 games in the Premiership, who's impressed you the most? Anderson or Yarmolenko? That's a fucking nut. I don't like that question. Come on.
Allaire. That's my
seriously. Lanzini.
Yeah.
Chicha. Yeah, there you go. And Andy Carroll. Wow, man, that's I don't like that one.
I don't want to answer it.
No, I mean, they're both 2 completely different players playing a similar position, opposite sides, but they're completely 2 different players. They offer 2 completely different things. Anderson's more of a complete player. We need him for many different things, but he loves to create things. Yarmolenko likes to finish things. And if somebody fucks up, including Yarmolenko lately has been tracking back and trying to get that ball back, which I love to see. And actually, Anderson has too. Got to give him credit this year.
Yarmolenko had that great tackle.
Yeah, man. Yesterday. That's what I'm saying. It's nice to see that. But dude, yeah, 2 different fucking players, man. All right, so what do you guys think? The voters picked.
I'm gonna say Yarmolenko just because he's coming off of a massive injury, and the fact that he's been able to get on the pitch and contribute. I just think situationally and given his history, I would say Yarmolenko if I had to choose.
What do you think?
I would choose Anderson, but I think the poll's gonna say Yarmo.
Yeah, let's say.
Just because of the goals. Ooh.
Out of 279, that's 63% said Anderson. Yeah. Well, thanks for retweeting our stuff there. That's very nice of you. All right, let's get into the rapid fire questions. I got to pull these up real quick, and I will take this one down. All right. Give me a second while I pull this up. I should have this prepared, but long day at work.
Yeah.
They're not far from here. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so it's supposed to be 10 questions. I wouldn't say supposed to be. I mean, originally it was going to be 10 questions, but they're actually 11. Random questions, most of them having to do with West Ham. Feel free to elaborate if you choose, but it's rapid fire. I mean, you can just one word them if you want. We can get through them. Meat pie or apple pie?
Apple pie. I've never had meat pie.
You never had a shepherd's pie even?
Nope. I've had like hamburger
pot pie?
helper and shit. Chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie is mad
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I mean, it's technically meat pie. I mean, I don't think it's the meat
Is
pie
it?
that everybody
Pie
was.
with meat in it.
There you go.
By definition, yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite current West Ham player?
Shit. Allaire. I would say Allaire. Definitely. I just love him. I like that he wants to be here. It's been a while, especially after Arnautovic. It's just having a player at that level, the Pyatt level, maybe not the Pyatt level, but he's going to be at the Pyatt level soon.
Yeah.
And for him to want to be here, I just love him. Love him to death.
Cresswell was looking like Payet yesterday.
Yeah.
Cresswell was looking like a fucking that free kick. Oh my god.
He did the little flick after it,
Oh, I love it.
So good. Loved it.
Who frustrates you the most in the current West Ham squad?
Fred Eriks, honestly. I love him, but I feel like he could do a lot more attacking, honestly. He does like 2 or 3 runs per game, but I want him to be a Kyle Walker type. Get up and down the entire time.
Yeah. Ray was a former guest of ours. He lives in Liverpool, and he's a West Ham supporter. We love him to death. He's one of our favorites. Unfortunately, he's by himself in the chat tonight. So, Ray, next time we'll just bring you in on the chat with us. I don't know what happened to everybody. Everybody get scared away or something.
I was coming back.
No. I didn't announce anything. That's my fault. I didn't even announce that anybody. But I bet you if I did say that you were coming back,
oh yeah,
you would be in here.
I don't know why I didn't put a link to this in the West Ham WhatsApp, our Mile High WhatsApp chat. I should have done that. Could have gotten some of them. Gina, where's Gina at tonight? Hello.
Seriously, she's baking cupcakes.
She might be.
FA Cup or top 6 finish. We kind of touched on that earlier today, but it's not top 6. I'm sorry, top 4 finish. So it doesn't have to be 4th place. It could be first, whatever. Anywhere in the top 4 or FA Cup.
FA Cup.
Yeah.
But if we did finish the top 4 and we were above Spurs, I would pick top 4 just to be above Spurs.
Yeah, that's
it's
what I'm
Spurs.
saying.
Good qualification. I like that.
Exactly.
What about West Ham do you love?
I love everything about it. It's just one of those things where it's like you can't like define the love for it. It's similar to like a spouse, you know. They're like, "Why do you love me?" And I'm like, "Eh." It's just I just love it. I don't know. Community, really good internet presence, which is nice.
That seems to be the in one word or another, or one way or another. It's that's the number one answer is family, community. There's something about the club itself. There's just something that
energy.
Yeah, the energy, man. Yeah,
it's very warm, very welcoming. Definitely,
it is very welcoming. Most everybody that we've met through the show has been nothing but amazing people, just awesome, loyal people, unique people. Everybody's been different. Every single person's been different. I've not met 2 of the same person, which is awesome. But if you want to follow a soulless Chelsea supporter, I mean, they're all the same. They got no soul.
Yeah.
Same thing with United and those other C words, Spurs shirts.
I mean, to be a West Ham fan, you have to survive the emotional trauma. So
I know.
Yeah.
So what about West Ham do you hate?
Inconsistency. I hate it so much. Last year we had the beautiful December, Mile High, Robert Snodgrass bang him in, and then 3 weeks of just shit. I hated that. I hate that so much.
That's the number one answer too. There's no wrong answer, but that's the most popular answer. What sound makes you happy?
The sound of the net getting hit by the ball as the ball rolls. It's sexy to me.
That's come up quite a few times actually as well. Either that or bubbles or whatever.
Bubbles,
there's a lot of different number one answer there is Tyway, I think. What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Yep, that's.
I love the word fuck.
That's the number one answer as well. What team do you love to beat?
Shit.
There's a lot of
Spurs.
them, though.
It's Spurs. Yeah, I don't mean to be vanilla, but I hate Spurs. So. Or Arsenal.
No. Arsenal. United is actually the second most popular answer, believe it or not. So it's usually Spurs, United, Chelsea, We've got a few Liverpools.
Fucking
Fuck
toughies.
Everton. Yeah.
Never mind.
Assholes.
God.
Everton.
I get up for Everton, man.
Yeah. Right on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you should have been in Boston last year for the Fan Fest when we played Everton.
I know. I was so
Started Perez and Obiang and got fucking destroyed, and those snarky bastards were walking in front of us, going to and from the bar because we were all lined up in front of the big screen against the wall, and they kept blocking our view, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, God, fuck you." Yeah, but yeah, fuck them. And listen, there is no player on the face of the earth that I hated more than Steven Pienaar. Piece of shit. He's that guy embodies fucking Everton. The Everton supporter. Yeah. Anyway, name a player, past or present. I don't like saying that. Never mind. I'm gonna rephrase this. Name a player in your time as a supporter, since you've been supporting the club, that epitomizes West Ham to you.
Mark Noble. I mean, it's just obvious. He loves to play here. He's not the best technically, but he's got the heart for it. That's why I like him.
It's just when I say, if I read the question out the way it's supposed to be, it's name a player, past or present, that epitomizes West Ham. People will automatically be like, oh, Bobby Moore or Billy
exactly.
I've never seen him play it. And I'm like, well, I mean, even though we all know if you're a more recent West Ham supporter, the answer's got to be Noble.
Yeah.
We've heard a few Snodgrasses, though. We've heard a few Scotty Parkers, and who did you pick, Ben?
I either said Noble or Ginge, probably.
Ginge, yeah.
I might have said Ginge just because he's such a friggin' bull back there. He's a beast.
Yeah. This is my favorite question. This is the last question of the night. If you could take a time machine back to experience anything to do with West Ham, when and where would it be?
Final game at Boleyn, 3-2 versus Man United. I just loved it. It was probably
knowing what you know now, you'd be like, "Fuck you, Reed, Mark your man."
At the perfect time, 3-0 win.
Oh man. Let's see. Ray Borm in the chat room says he loves to beat Liverpool. And
well, when you're in Liverpool, I can imagine that's probably pretty fun. Just walk around like, what do you fucking have to say now?
Yeah, man. His sexy white kit from this year. Yeah, he likes that. That's the one in his picture anyway. But he also wore that on a show. Yeah, man, you gotta wear that every day. You just whatever you do, don't bleach it. Whatever you do, I did that, and my Umbro logo is Liverpool red. I'm not joking.
No.
It's fucking stitching. It's not the same material as like the bands or any of the other material on the shirt, and it's literally. I've never seen anything so bright red in my life.
I'm not laughing at you, but I kind of am.
I mean, the shirt's white as fuck too now, but
that's good.
Half worked.
But whatever. I'd see how it is. Yeah. So listen, I hope you had fun. I had a long day at work, man, so I'm sorry it wasn't
you're good.
Most fun and entertaining, but generally it's a little bit more lively. Our chat room is more lively, even though I'm not taking anything away from you, Ray, in the chat.
You've been amazing.
You've been fantastic. No way, Ray. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope you had fun, and you're welcome back anytime. We got a lot of new shows on the way, which now I'm going to mention this to everybody who's watching this after the fact. I'd say 60% of our viewers are from the UK, and then they're still asleep, well, except for Ray. They'll watch this in the morning. We have a lot of shows coming your way that we're replacing our interview shows, not all of them, just some of them, with new types of shows, some gamey type shows, some music type shows, some punk rock type shows, some... what else? We're working on one that's going to be showcasing matches in history, and et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, it's going to kick off. Well, we kicked off last week with the three-headed debate that we did on, what was it, on Wednesday with Wayne, Lee, and myself, three of the original hosts of the show. I'm not going to be on that one anymore, but those two plus somebody is going to do a three-headed debate again on Wednesday. Tuesday is our Fantasy Premier League show, which is something different. Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We got that at West Ham Women's Show. On Thursday evening, we do have an interview with somebody called Hub City Hammers. I don't know exactly where Hub City is, but I found them on Twitter, or they found me on Twitter. And yeah, we're going to chat with them. Let's see if I can even figure out what the hell that is. What the hell's Hub City, man? Oh, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. There you go.
Mississippi.
We've had a Mississippi. Actually, our host of our Fantasy Premier League show is Mississippi Hammers on Twitter, and he's out of Jackson, Mississippi. But and he actually works for Mississippi State University, the football team, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, I don't think he knows about this guy, so it'll be kind of cool. I should actually have Alex co-host on that one. That's funny. Anyway, so that's that, and then Friday night is going to be our first real new content show. We're going to be doing something in the style of Around the Horn, kind of like not a game showy, but we got John Nolan from Philadelphia, who's an expat, who's going to be moderating like Tony Reale would. Not going to be giving away.
Awesome.
He's not. John. Yeah, man, you co-hosted with him actually. Yeah. He's going to be moderating like Tony Reale would. We're not going to be giving points, but we're going to be giving, or he's going to be giving thumbs up. It's called Friday Night Likes on, thumbs up, whatever. On, he's going to be bringing 3 different guests in. They're going to be doing something in the style of, or in the vein of, Around the Horn, because we're too small to get sued. We're not going to call, you know what I'm saying? Fuck it, and it's not completely the same. No, taking the point system out of it.
Everything's made up, and the points don't matter.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go. How can we say that backwards, or just change a few of the words around? So that'll be cool. And then the following Monday, after I hang out with DC Hammers, we're going to finalize all of the details for their new show on. I think it's going to be Sunday nights. I'm trying to get them to do Monday nights, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. A part of the interruption style show. So thank you, ESPN. For your ideas, just to freshen things up. But also, the one I'm most excited about is a music show. So if any of you out there are Hammers, West Ham supporters, and you are in a band or a musician or EDM, country, punk, whatever you do, and you have music, either videos of it or audio files, or if you want to come on the show and perform, I'm going to be doing half an hour music show where we interview Hammers. We're going to start with American Hammers and then branch out like we did with this show and interview people from all over the world who are Hammers and are musicians, and either play samples of their music on the show with their permission, obviously, because they'll be on the show giving us permission, or allowing them to play their acoustic versions of their songs until we can figure out how to pull up some live rockin' sets. I don't know. We'll figure that out, but it's going to happen. We got a whole bunch of new shows in October, so get excited, people. Long story short, hope you guys had a great night. I did. Come on, you irons, and I'll talk to you guys off the air.
Yeah.